This is it. This is the moment that we've been waiting for. Today is a day that we will live and die by because we're going to deliver our Premier League predictions. Addy Oladipo and I have given this the due diligence that it deserves. Addy, by the way, how many subscribers?
Nearly 48,000.
48,000. Road to 50k.
Road to 50k. So.
Please subscribe to Addy's YouTube channel. The link is in the description below. Let's get into 50k if we can, maybe even on this video. Right, I really have committed here. Yeah. I really have given
So is this fact then? This is fact.
Fact. This is, in fact, this isn't a prediction video.
Yeah.
This is a spoiler for the season. I am going to ruin the season for you because I'm going to tell you how it's going to end.
Oh, Mr. Jennings, you don't change. I love you. This is it. You don't change, do you?
I've really concentrated here. I've really thought hard. I've really given it the true force that it deserves.
Yeah.
So
I've been stuck. I think there's about 5 interchangeable places for me, like that between sort of 9th and 14th, 15th, where it could be any team. But other than that, I think I've got it right as well.
Who have you got rock bottom of the
Luton,
Premier League?
obviously.
Okay, I haven't. I've got. It's not that weird, don't
Oh, okay.
Luton are certainly in my bottom 3, but I've got Sheffield United. They're all over the place, Addy.
Yeah, no, I've got them second bottom.
Best, this is interchangeable.
Yeah,
but Sheffield United especially.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think that they don't want to go down. They're hoping to stay up. But I think that they're kind of planning to go down. They needed the money. You know, if they didn't come up, their finances would have been all over the place.
Big problems. They needed to get into the Premier League.
They lost their best players.
Yeah.
You know, the loan players have gone. They've sold, actually, their best player. I think it's over before it's begun for Sheffield United.
Agreed. I just don't think there's not going to be any surprise factor. Remember when they came up a couple of seasons back and they're playing that football, that weird kind of style of football? It worked, didn't it, under Wilder? And everyone was like, wow. And then they finished, I don't know, top half maybe, if my memory serves me right.
At one point, it was around Project Restart, but at one point it felt like they were going to make
a European challenge. Oh, was
League.
It really?
Yeah, they had a goal if I remember rightly, this is obviously a little while ago now, they had a goal disallowed.
Yeah.
Wrongly, and that could have changed everything.
Okay.
But look, they did have that year. Then they went down the following year.
Yeah.
When everybody thought they were going to do well. Not everybody. People will remember that prediction. You know, nobody clips that.
No one clips that. No one clips your Sheffield United predictions, Rory.
No,
they go for the big stuff. You know what I mean?
But then I've got Luton. So we've just got this.
We've just got an interchangeable. Yes, I've got Luton, Sheffield United. Luton. Look, I like it. I like the idea. I like the idea of going to one of these old traditional grounds. I get what they're trying to do. It's fantastic. They're going to get relegated. This is the Premier League. The gulf's just too big.
It's the best story in sport, I think, in the last 10 years. What we've seen. You know, they've gone and they have a player, a hero, an icon. He's gone from every single division and played in every single division.
I love that.
Conference to Premier League.
I love that.
It's amazing.
But their fans.
He's got to be like one of their best ever players.
Must be, right?
He's just
must
got
be.
to be.
Must be. My friend used to play for Luton.
Really?
Yeah, Trezor Candle played for Luton.
Trezor Candle, I remember.
Trezor Candle, remember he was at Leeds, played for Luton as well for a while. Yeah.
Really?
So I went there a few times.
I kind of remember Luton in 1994 when Chelsea got to the FA Cup final against Manchester United. We played them in a semi-final. Like, you know, we're just a little bit too young for it. But you know, if you're a bit older than us, Luton. You know them, like, you know, the famous plastic pitch and that.
Yeah.
There's a generation that only know Luton as being kind of lower league.
Yeah.
But if you're a decade older than we are, I think you'll know Luton as a bit more. Like Luton were a founding member of the Premier League.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Luton, yeah, that's there you go.
That's crazy.
Luton.
I wouldn't have even known that.
Luton. I hope I'm right.
No,
I'm convinced I'm right.
Yeah.
I'm convinced I'm right. Luton and Notts County were both founding members.
Incredible.
Look at how it's gone.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting for some of those teams to go down to that ground and fans to go down to that ground.
Do you know what? There's one thing that they could do. Look, I think Sheffield United have gone. I think Luton have gone as well. But do you know what they're going to do? Luton are going to be, and I like this.
Go on.
They're going to fight you.
Yeah.
They are going to fight. Yeah. And I think that we're so sneery. Not you and I, and hopefully not the people that are watching this, but you know, the society and footballing community. Football has to be played a particular way, right?
That.
Overlapping fullbacks and deep lying midfielders and playmakers. And do you know what? I like the crazy game.
Dude, I'm so angry you said that because I was just about to say it. What about a bit of crazy game? What about a bit of Bolton before he started signing all the Yokiev and JJ Okocha?
Even that team had it. They had to fight to them. Just fight. Yeah, Kevin Davies up front.
Yeah, just fight. Yeah, exactly. Long ball, Kevin Davies, knock it down.
Yeah.
So good luck to them. But
good luck to them. I agree.
I can't
good luck to them. Who have you got as your third team to go down?
Everton.
So have I. I didn't think you were going to say that.
Everton. I've got Everton. You can't keep walking that tightrope.
So have I.
How long can you keep walking the tightrope and all you bring in is Danjuma and Ashley Young?
Mate.
I'm sorry, it's just not enough.
Did you not think? So I didn't think you were going to say this. I thought you. There's a number of other clubs, Forest, Bournemouth,
there's so many. Yeah.
I thought though that you would say one of those, and I'd really have to make my case to you for Everton.
No.
I think the only reason they could stay up is because Dyche,
they're Everton.
Dyche and Everton.
They're Everton,
and they're sort of capable. They're workmanlike midfield.
Yeah.
Do they win enough games 1-0? Do they draw enough games 1-1? Like when they get beat, it's not even going to be easy to beat.
Potentially, look. I mean, any big team going to Goodison Park, it's a game. It's not like going to the other teams we've mentioned, Sheffield United and Luton.
Yeah.
You go there, even if you get a point, it's a good point.
Yeah.
But there's something. I almost feel like is that Everton of 4 or 5 years ago. The Everton of the last 3 seasons, it's been horrendous.
Do you know what really amplified this for me? Do you know like a moment where I was like, mate, you're really in trouble.
Go on.
My mate who supports Everton, I went to university up there.
Yeah.
He went to me, oh, we're so unlucky. I went, go on. He's like, Dwight McNeil's out. I went,
no.
I went, what?
Oh no. See,
I went, you should be all right, though, right? He's like, no, mate. Dwight McNeil is like one of our...
See?
I was like, oh,
See?
God.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's bad, isn't it? It's bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad. They don't have a goal scorer. I mean,
no.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin just simply isn't that guy, is he?
No.
I mean, he had that season.
That season.
Very
specific to manager and context, wasn't
Everything.
Yeah.
He was perfect.
Yeah.
And he simply isn't that guy anymore. They've let players go. Players have wanted to go. Yeremina's gone.
Yeah.
He was quite rock solid at the back,
he's
I
very
thought, when
difficult
fit.
to replace.
Yeah, it's just... They're
they're
banging
gone.
trouble.
I'm amazed you've said that, Oladipo.
Yeah.
We're clearly
I'm still surprised that Pickford's there.
Yes.
Bit surprised. Remember, he's England's #1 goalkeeper.
I think he really does have an affinity,
Yeah.
and I think he's happy. But
Maybe.
he certainly improves lots of other teams. I rate him as a goalie.
100%.
Like he immediately would start for Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm shocked that Spurs didn't look at him.
I know.
I mean, obviously they got the other goalkeeper and they got him for cheap, but I'm surprised Spurs didn't look at him. There was talks about United even for a little while.
Better than Sanchez as well, who Chelsea have just
Surely
signed.
he is.
Yeah.
Surely he is.
I can't believe it. Everton to go down.
Everton to go down. So that's it. Everton, Sheffield United, and Luton. We both got the
We
same.
agree.
Three.
We agree. Who gets away with it for you? Who survives by a Rizla paper?
Forest and Bournemouth.
Oh my God! In that order, Forest, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I've got. I can't believe it.
Cheers, man. Guys, we haven't planned this.
I can't believe
I was
it.
honestly looking at the fan, just our cameraman saying, "Look, it's not planned. This isn't planned."
That's exactly the
That's
same.
what I've got. That's what I've got.
Forest and Bournemouth.
Yeah.
See, I think Forest could go.
Oh,
I
certainly
think,
can
I
go.
think they could go.
Forest certainly
I
can
just
go.
like their manager, Cooper.
Yeah.
I think he's good.
Yeah.
I think he's good enough to keep them up, and ultimately, they've just got enough of ambition about them.
Just enough. I mean, signings like Elanga coming in, Morgan Gibbs-White there.
Do you know what? When I was doing this, like I genuinely did commit to this.
Yeah.
Like I really did think hard and long about it. Do you know what came into my mind? Their game. Do you remember when I suppose they effectively survived and stopped Arsenal winning the league. Do you remember when they beat Arsenal at the end of?
Yeah.
Just the way they played that day.
Just that.
Like I know you can't base an entire club on 90 minutes, but I thought that lift, the stadium that day was rocking. They were on.
Yeah.
They were genuinely just buoyant
And
and
to be
brilliant.
fair to Steve Cooper, look, I mean, he had all those signings, didn't he? Players that he didn't really want, but were brought into the club as investments. It took him almost a season to figure out his best 11.
Yeah.
I mean, look, when you're dropping Jesse Lingard and he can't even get a minute on the
Yeah.
pitch, you know that's the case of, okay, I didn't want him.
Yeah.
I didn't want him.
Yeah,
This is the team I want, and it worked in the end.
And
so,
Gibbs
yeah.
White, like whatever you think of it, Gibbs White, Awoniyi,
Yeah.
like they're very good players. Brendan Johnson, like they're good
Brendan
players.
Johnson's a good player. Like Brentford were looking at him. I thought he was done. I thought he was gone.
Yeah, yeah.
Brendan
Like those
Johnson to
three in
Brentford.
themselves.
Those three alone, and again, Elanga coming.
Yeah. And then a manager that's
And
good
then a manager
and a club that has history and passionate support.
Always difficult to go there and win. So yeah, I think they'll be okay, but it wouldn't look. We've both got them to be there by a Rizla paper, so it wouldn't be shocking if they're in it.
Next up, Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Shut up! Now stop. This is ridiculous.
Are you
I've got
serious?
Wolves there.
This is wild.
I've got Wolves there as well.
Although, do you know what? Wolves were another one.
Yeah.
Because something else that we're going to do at some point today, and the video will be up soon. We're going to do like other predictions. One of them is first manager sacked.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, not necessarily
interesting.
sacked, right?
Interesting.
But I was just thinking, Lopetegui, and I mean this with all due respect to Wolves, because I do like and respect Wolves. But you don't need this. Like, you know what's going on there. They can't sign any players. Like, it's not necessarily that I think he gets sacked, but I think he might just go, do you know what? This is really damaging my reputation here.
He must have gone in for the interview. You go there, you sit down with the chairman, and he tells you what we're going to do with the club. And we've got a budget of 100 million. We're going to keep that player, this player, and he's probably thinking, "You've lied."
Yeah.
Like none of what you promised me is true.
And if he were to leave for one reason or another, sacked, which won't happen, but just say he walks, which could easily happen at any point, then I think they're in trouble.
Maybe the Premier League's such an attraction nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, Unai Emery going to Villa, for example, that they can probably get a big name manager in anyway
Because of the links of the club. Because of the links.
club.
And that's why they could sign players.
Yeah.
Not. I know they can't buy, but they could, because of the links and the friends that Wolverhampton Wanderers have, they could be really proficient in the loany. Last day of the season, they'll bring in somebody really impressive.
Yeah, exactly. They can do it. They're a club. It's almost like that alone should tell you how difficult the Premier League is.
Yeah.
Because there were a time when Wolves could have been where I'm guessing we're going to have Villa or Newcastle. They could have been right up there. Look, they were there.
They were there.
All their players, it was very reminiscent of Portugal. Raul Jimenez was wanted by United, but he was there. Remember, they had everything. And all of a sudden, it's crazy.
It's the consistency, isn't it? It's constantly having to reimagine the club. It's constantly having to reinvest in the club. Yeah. And they just didn't do that.
No.
The money dried up. The links dried up.
And the players.
And they've lost a lot of good players.
Honestly, the players dried up though.
Neves obviously, so Neves has gone to Saudi.
Yeah.
Collins has gone. He went to Brentford.
Yeah, Collins gone to Brentford.
Leaving Wolves to go to Brentford.
Jimenez has gone, and people might say, but he was a talisman up front for them when it mattered. Obviously, didn't work out with Diego Costa. Traore's left as well. Who's the small one?
Moutinho.
He's gone. Pedence is being linked with a move away. Literally, it's a completely different ball side.
You know, in the transfer window, the final day of the transfer window.
Yeah.
If they've still got, the right people pulling the strings for them.
Yeah.
They'll bring in 4 young Portuguese players who really turn it on and basically keep them in the league. But where I've put them is really high, and bearing in mind, I've got them 6th from bottom.
Yeah. Wait.
Which
1,
is that right?
2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6.
6th from bottom, and that to me is their ceiling.
Yeah.
Like that's basically me saying they win the league because that's their mini league.
That's as good as it can get for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're definitely going to deviate here.
All right. Yeah.
I've got a different team here.
Okay.
Must have.
All right. On 3.
Gone.
1, 2. Fulham.
West Ham.
Interesting.
You did, by the way. Your counting is.
I know. I said 1, 2, and then
you said 1, 2, and then just went with it.
Yeah, that's decided. Yeah, I don't know.
So you've gone Fulham there.
I've gone Fulham, and the reason I've gone Fulham is because
a long way from here.
You know what? Obviously, Mitrovic is still there, but won't be there. He's done. William looks like he wants to go after signing a new contract as well.
Yeah.
So their 2 best players last season have decided they want out.
And the thing is with Mitrovic, he has to go.
He has to go now.
Because you can't have, some
you can't
players.
have that kind of player in there.
You can't have that kind of player unhappy. You know some players, they're so professional. Like, I know, Luka Modric wanted to leave Tottenham.
Yeah.
Chelsea were desperately trying to sign him. He wanted to go. Levy said no. I think Modric went on strike and sulked for like 2 weeks and then was their player of the season.
Yeah.
He ain't like that. He's going to be furious.
He's going to be livid. The money's 5 times, more. He wants out now.
He wants to link up with his mate, doesn't he? Milinkovic Savic. Yeah.
And William, who signed the new contract, all of a sudden the Saudis came and put a contract on the table. It was like, what? What's that number at the end? Another 0. I want out as well.
No, I'm really happy at Fulham.
Yeah. Pardon me? Yeah.
How much? I'm not happy here anymore.
Yeah, and if you're Marco Silva, you spoke about Lopetegui for a second. Potentially being one of the first managers to leave. If you're Marco Silva, again, this isn't it. It was it when I wanted William and I wanted Mitrovic up front and we were going to go for it. This isn't it. So that's the reason I've got them there. If they can keep both of them and the manager, then I'd have them higher. But right now, it looks like both are going to go in.
I think Fulham are in a really privileged position because I think whatever happens to them, however badly this all pans out, Mitrovic goes, even Marco Silva goes, like worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I still think that from a Fulham perspective, there are 3 worst teams in the league.
Yeah, 3 worst.
So like Fulham, I believe, just don't go down.
No, I don't think they go down, but I don't think it's as cushy as we think.
No, they could. Yeah.
And maybe it is that second season.
As I was saying that,
thing.
it didn't sound right.
Yeah, maybe it is that second season thing as well in the Premier League. You got West Ham.
I have.
Interesting. Go on, explain yourself, sir.
Well, I think the West Ham are all over the place as a club, and I cannot believe that they've managed to do something historic. Winning European silverware, first trophy for that club since 1980. Huge statement. And I think when those things happen, you get these like tentpole events in club's history. And what you have to do in those moments is embrace the situation and make the most of it and use that as a springboard.
It's key.
Or you don't, and that moment doesn't come around again, and you haven't made the most of it.
Whatever they've done, you are correct. They've done the worst of whatever they could have done. The worst.
The way to handle winning European silverware How to not handle it, they've just written a book
Yeah.
on it. They've written a book. You've won European silverware and you've sold your best player. What's the best way to handle this? And what's the worst? And they've just done the worst.
They've done nothing.
They have done nothing.
Literally, they've done nothing.
They've done nothing.
I read
and
that
it
they've
was
signed a
it was so
defensive
easy.
midfielder.
Yeah, but I'm sure players will come in.
Maguire, McTominay, we're hearing for 60 million potentially.
Yeah, look, Addy, I don't know, but I just can't see. Look, I think McTominay would be a really good player for them.
I think so as well.
I think McTominay would be a really good player for them.
Really good player.
Maguire less so, but still fine.
Yeah.
But I just don't think either will want to go there. Like, remember, both of them, whatever you think of them, however highly you rate them, both of them have contributed to a team that are now in the Champions League and won silver.
Yeah.
Like, West Ham today are so far away from that. Like, let's remember that okay, they did win European silver and their season will go down in history for them. Mm-hmm. But Addy, they lost 20 games last year.
It's incredible that.
They got 40 points. You know, a manager down there, what's their job? 40 points. That's all he did. He got the bare minimum.
He got them there, and they've lost their best player, and they've just sold the striker they bought last season for 30 million for 22.
I just don't.
So they don't even have a striker up front.
No.
Antonio can't beat it again.
No.
Antonio can't beat it. They've lost Lanzini. He's gone. I say lost. They didn't want to keep him. He's gone. I'm with you. I have to be honest with you. If come March, West Ham in the bottom three, I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you know, like I was talking about that other game, the other game that we're going to play, when I was talking about Lopetegui potentially leaving, Moyes is high on that list. Managers to Moyes is high.
Very high.
Honestly, like, football is a game of small margins, of course it is, right? And winning that trophy for David Moyes is massive. You know, the images with his father on the pitch in Prague, he live forever. But mate, if Bowen hits that and that hits the bar, he's sacked now.
He's not there. You know how many West Ham fans me and Rory speak to on TalkSport on a regular? And every time Rory asks them that question, every West Ham fan says, yeah, I think you should go. Think about that. He's won a trophy and they still say that.
Mate, do you know what was amazing? There was a clip that I did on TalkSport fairly recently and I was saying that he needs to go. And generally, when you say something about a club, the most ardent and passionate of that support will attack you.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened? I was being attacked a lot by football people. Rio Ferdinand literally pulled me up on it. People were pulling me up, lots of people. But you know people on Twitter who had like irons as their thing. Anyone that had the old hammers on their bio, so they were called like Paul Butler from Romford, Irons. He'd be like, I don't like this geezer, but he's right. It was everybody who were West Ham. West Ham geezers were all agreeing with me. Yeah. And then football people who observed the game, they were like, you can't sack a man after this.
That's the problem. They
journalists
very
didn't
short-sighted
like it.
with it.
Journalists didn't like it.
Very short-sighted with it.
But the people who go to West Ham week in, week out, who had a Moyes out banner in Craven Cottage, wanted him out. Mate, do you know when I'm talking it through with you, Ad? These are set in stone. I'm not changing. But when I'm talking this through, I'm suddenly thinking, we've got West Ham very safe. Very safe. Like, not even close.
No, they've still got good players. That's the thing with West Ham. When I look at Jared Bowen, I look at Ben Rama, I look at Paquetá, potentially, again, Maguire coming in. Even if Maguire doesn't come in, Kurt Zuma at the back.
Yeah, okay.
With Aguirre. Is it Aguirre?
His
name correct.
Yeah.
I think they've got...
And old Bonner's still there. They've got good defenders,
I think they'll be okay, West Ham.
Yeah.
But with the manager to be sacked thing, I think that's a whole different discussion.
When I'm talking about it now, I'm not sure. But do you know who neither of us have said yet, which I think is huge?
Are
you about to say him?
No, I don't think I am, but I think...
You're still not about to say him?
No, my next one is Palace.
Wow.
Who's your next one?
Burnley.
Okay, that's interesting. I've got them one more.
I can't believe that Burnley are this safe. This is company, isn't it?
This is company, and there's always that one team that comes up that does this. There's always a team that comes up from the Premier League and does this.
But
whether it be
not
Leeds,
like this.
under Bielsa,
Sheffield
United, Wilder, Marco Silva last season, Fulham. There's always one.
But not like this. I think it's a different... Like, maybe we're putting so much stock in company here.
It's so much stock in company.
So much stock.
Maybe too much.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe
Pressure.
too much.
Pressure. But he does seem like a really interesting man. A really good man. Principled man. And I think his family are political in Belgium. Yeah, I think he comes from like really honourable, principled man.
Yeah.
And like I know for a fact.
He seems very like just regimented as well.
Yeah, he's a good man. I know that. Like I know that, sort of homelessness in Manchester is in a far better place
because of Vincent
Kompany. Okay. Yeah. Like he's a good man. But he's also, from what I gathered, do you know what? I realised that I didn't know much, if anything, about Burnley. Like I really, working in football, talking about football, loving football. I was like, I don't really know what's going on there. So I had to sort of read up about it. Fascinating bloke. He's one of those. He's one of those. Those people that just don't sleep.
Vincent Company.
Yeah. Just grafter. And he did this thing with the players were back. I remember Wout Weghorst had to go back to, because Burnley were his club. He basically finished playing in the Premier League and had to go straight back into training.
Saw that.
Because the Premier League finished a bit later. Yeah. And I think Burnley only had initially 10 days off or something.
He got them back immediately.
Yeah. And then let them have another little break, but 10 days, and then got them back again.
I think there'll be some that just look at the name Burnley and think, Sean Dyche played football. It's not that.
No, it's not that.
It's not that. It really didn't. They ran away with the championship. They played good football. Again, look, can they play that type of football in the Premier League? Maybe not.
And all the games that they would want to win. The games that their fans look. Football fans know what I'm on about here. Every game's worth 3 points, but some games are worth so much more than 3 points. When Liverpool play Man United, it's not about 3 points. It's about so much more. For Burnley, those games, maybe when they play Preston, maybe those, they battered them.
Mate,
when the pressure was on.
Yeah, when the pressure's on.
Fans are like, win today.
They do it. They do it. Obviously, they've signed the under-21 England goalkeeper.
Yeah, James Trafford.
Yep.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Mate,
Mate,
that's big. 20 million quid for a goalie for Burnley.
Sean Dyche didn't have it for 10 years. Do you know what I mean? Didn't have that for years, did he? Didn't have that.
Yeah, Dyche should be looking at that game.
One second, hello.
Yeah, I didn't spend that cumulatively.
Yeah, for everything. Yeah. So I've got Burnley. I've got Palace, then Burnley.
I've got Palace a bit higher. So I go Burnley. Next up, I go Brentford.
Okay, so
What, have you got them higher or lower?
Well, a bit higher. But remember, I did say at the start, that's interchangeable.
Yeah, a lot of this is tricky.
So so mine went Fulham, Palace, Burnley.
Mine has gone Burnley, Brentford, Fulham, Palace.
Okay, that's interesting.
Fulham, Palace, right?
Yeah.
So I'm Palace. I didn't know what to do with Palace.
That's why I've just left them there. I've left Palace where Palace finish every single season.
Yeah, somewhere
which is about 13, 14 for them. Every single season, that's what Palace do. Yeah. They've lost their talisman. And I know people say he wasn't all that last season, but he was still the talisman.
What about Brentford? A lot of pressure. How well do you think they'll play? Because remember, they've every single time, and this is a credit to Brentford and their manager, but every single time in Premier League context that we thought they're in trouble here, they're losing something big. Yeah. Maybe Christian Eriksen. Yeah. They lose him, they're fine. They're ground. Griffin Park. Yeah. They lose that, and they're fine. Like, whatever you take out of that team,
they seem to find a way,
They seem to find a way.
A bit like Brighton. Maybe not as good as Brighton, but a bit like that. Very
similar
to
process
Brighton,
as well, yeah.
Yeah, good manager in Thomas Frank as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, look, the big problem is Ivan Toney.
But do they survive it? Like, how they live without...
I think they do. I've maybe got them a touch too high. I think I've got them 10th. But I think they do survive it, just because it's a team that hasn't had too many changes. Yeah. Like they're starting the season, yes, minus Toney, but that's it. And I think they still could get Aronson from Forest, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. Basically, and this is huge for them. Yeah, they're not going down, are they?
No, we've said Brentford. I think we both got them middle of the ground.
Okay, right. So top half now. Yeah. This is where it gets very serious.
Let's get serious here.
I've got Crystal Palace in the top half of the table.
What?
Too generous?
Far too generous.
They're keeping hold of their prized assets. Like, mate, a minute ago, Manchester City were going to sign Elise.
Yeah, weird how that just stopped. Yeah, but Man City and Chelsea were looking at him and just stopped.
And he's still a Palace player.
Yeah, I do find that quite weird, but I just don't think they have enough going forward. I think far too much pressure on the kids. I say kids. Eze's not really a kid anymore, is he? Nor is Elise. But for them to deliver on a regular basis now. Like before it was deliver as well as Zaha. Now it's no, you deliver.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think 10th though. It's all very close around there.
No, look.
So
it's close. You're right. It's close.
They're capable of breaking into the top half of the league, I think.
I don't think they are. I don't think they've ever done it.
But
I can't remember. I don't think they've ever done it.
Right and Bright, probably.
Yeah, Right and Bright times.
Right and Bright. Yeah.
Or maybe they had something when Ambrose was there for one season. I can't remember, but I don't remember them ever getting that high. So I think that's very generous.
Okay, so now
I had Brentford 10th, by the way, just so we
Brentford 10th. Yeah. So now this is going to sound really uninspiring. I've got Brighton 9th, which I think their fans will be being way more optimistic than that.
I think you're out of order.
European football is going to hit.
I get that. You are right, but they've made some good signings as well, haven't they? And it looks like they're going to get Kudus as well, that everyone's been trying to... Yeah, everyone's trying to look at and getting him for cheap.
Yeah.
They've only lost... Look, they lost their backup goalkeeper, Sanchez. They got good money for him, 25 million, and McAllister. This is the
Oh,
problem.
you're not being forward thinking enough.
This is the problem. If Caicedo goes,
Caicedo doesn't start the season, or he might start the season, but it doesn't.
That seems to have stopped a little bit as well. It's not been as like when me and you were doing the transfer show talking about it. It looked like it was a done deal.
You know, Chelsea are playing a game, and I believe that he will leave. There's too many big clubs, top clubs, elite clubs in the league looking for a midfielder.
But
Liverpool need a midfielder.
But
Chelsea
you've
need a midfielder.
always done this with them. Every single time Brighton, and this is you're almost contradicting yourself. You've always said they always seem to find someone else.
Look, they can replace.
Do.
They can replace, but it's going to be unsustainable. I think they look.
So you think this is the season because they've got European football? They stumble a little bit.
Yeah, like they might have. You know, they got to a cup semi-final, didn't they?
We've got them 9th.
I've got them 9th.
It's not the worst.
It's not the worst at all. No, I just think that they will think it could be so much more.
Yeah, no, I had Spurs 9th.
And I believe that Caicedo will end up at look, Chelsea talking to Tyler Adams or whatever it is now. Yeah. That is a smokescreen, isn't it?
That's literally a case of we'll talk to someone else then.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's Caicedo then knocking on the door and saying, look,
I need to get out. Why did he sign a new contract?
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Because he was on really low money, wasn't he?
Yeah, he wanted money.
Really low money. And they've obviously said, we'll give you a bit more.
So who have you got 9th?
Spurs.
Okay, so who have you got 8th?
Chelsea.
Okay, so wait, we need to talk. So you've got Tottenham 9th.
Tottenham 9th.
You've got Tottenham lower than me.
Yeah, I've got Tottenham 9th. Yeah, I've got Tottenham 9th. I just feel like it's a mess. I've got a big asterisk next to my, as you can see on my list, just because it's all about Harry Kane, isn't it? You know when you said, Ade, think forward about Caicedo, I think Bayern Munich are going to get him. I think they're going to get him. I know they had a £100 million deal rejected today, I think it is.
Harry Kane can't go to Bayern Munich, mate. Like I don't necessarily think he stays at Tottenham.
So where does he go then?
I think it goes like this. He either most likely stays at Tottenham and walks away for free. Yeah, for a fortune. Wow. Secondly, I think Manchester United. Manchester United will be monitoring this situation. They'll be looking at their squad. They'll be knowing that Højlund can't.
But they spent 72 million on Højlund.
But Højlund's for the future.
I agree, but you don't spend 72 million on him.
You do now.
Yeah, he clearly had a budget of 200 million, and that budget's not been blown. He hasn't got another 100.
If Harry Kane's available, they find the money.
Yeah, but if Harry Kane's available to United, it's going to cost them 150.
See, Levy doesn't want to sell but what Harry Kane could do is wait till the final days and say, look, I'm not going to go to anywhere other than Manchester United.
Do you think Harry Kane's so loyal to Spurs that he wouldn't want to play against Spurs in the league and go to Bayern?
No, he's not insane.
Yeah,
he's not insane. That's what Levy wants him to do. But he's not insane. But
all this is speculation. The team that have put in the bids, there's only one team that have chucked in money, and that's Bayern Munich.
But I think that's almost part of the dance. I think it's so much bigger. Like honestly, I think Harry Kane is happy that Bayern Munich are doing this. The reason why Tottenham can't accept that bid is because it would put Tottenham in a terrible position. Because if Tottenham accept it, Kane goes, I'm not going there. That means that Man United.
You don't think Kane wants to go? Remember all the conversations we've had with Kevin Hatchard and Andy Brassel? You don't think he wants to go by Munich?
This is my opinion.
Okay, no.
This is my opinion. I do not know Harry Kane. I do not have any links. I just think Harry Kane doesn't want to go to Bayern Munich because it doesn't make any sense. To go, if you're desperately trying to erode your lack of silverware, going to help Bayern Munich when they're 12th in a row, in a league that is seen as being fairly uninspiring anyway, at a club that is, whilst a Goliath club.
Be careful what you're saying.
A Goliath club, but it's in the Bundesliga. It's uninspiring for Kane. I think Kane. Then the reason why that means Tottenham,
he stays. That means he stays then.
But then Tottenham can't risk that. Well, the problem with that is then Kane goes, I'm going to walk for free, and Tottenham don't want to lose 70 million.
Unless they wait until the January transfer window.
So I think that he will start the season as a Tottenham player.
Okay.
And therefore, I've got them 8th.
Oh, I had them 9th. I had you guys 8th.
I've got them 8th.
Yeah, I had you boys 8th because I think, honestly, I think it's a mess at Chelsea. You've signed a lot of good players. 8th? I've got you 8th, yeah.
Mate, you haven't been paying attention.
Oh, behave. Sorry, 1 second. Where have you got yourself?
Don't worry about it. We'll get there. We've got a long way to go before we get there.
Yeah, look, I've got Chelsea 8th. I just think it's a mess. I don't know if you can bring in that many players and a new manager and hope to hit the ground running straight away. I just don't see how it's possible. I like Nicholas Jackson. Looks like a good player. Is he good enough for the Premier League? Is he good enough for Chelsea? I mean, we didn't know him last year, did we?
No.
To be honest with you. In Nkunku, we've all been burnt and scarred by the Bundesliga. So you can score 1,000 goals in that league. I don't know if it translates, as you guys know from Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. I don't know what's going on with Raheem Sterling. Your midfield's all over the place. Your best defender's 50. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. And
I'll
you
tell
bought
you.
Brighton's backup striker, backup goalkeeper.
Backup dancer.
Yeah, as your number one now. I don't know.
No, well, I can tell you that. I've got Tottenham 8th. This is going to surprise you. I've got Newcastle United 7th.
Oh, man.
Do you think? Is that wild? Newcastle 7th? I don't think that's that wild.
Well, no, it's not that wild because there's only a finite of positions left, but there's no way Newcastle, I don't care if they're playing European football, don't give me that look, finish below Chelsea. No way.
Yeah, there is.
No.
Oh, yes, there is.
No, there isn't.
What? You don't think Mauricio Pochettino can finish above Eddie Howe?
No, don't do it like that. No. That's
what it is.
I'm doing it as players. I think Newcastle's team and what they've added in terms of Harvey Barnes and Sandro Tonali.
Yeah.
No.
Look, in terms of their recruitment, with the exception of Tonali, they're players that they could have signed anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like they haven't, this new Newcastle, new money and everything. Yeah. And this is. I'm not saying this in a bad way because I think there's a credit to this as well. But Tonali, that's a bit marquee, bit statement. Isak, statement. But a lot of the Dan Burn, I could have seen Mike Ashley signing Dan Burn.
But you know what it is about them, and this is I think the thing that they've done better than any other team in this list, apart from maybe City. They haven't ripped it up and started again. The best thing Eddie Howe can do is say, I know every single player here. I know exactly their weaks and strengths where Liverpool don't and Chelsea don't to an extent and other teams, even Arteta. He knows what he's got and he's only added really one star into that's going to start. I don't think Harvey Barnes will start for them. They're good to go. Again, there is no risk factor. They're good to go and I think they're ready made to make a charge for top four.
When you say that there's no way that there's no way that Chelsea finish above Newcastle.
Yeah.
When you say no way, what sort of do you believe that firmly?
Yeah.
So to what level do you believe that?
Well, I've got Chelsea 8th and I had Newcastle 5th.
Okay, so I've got if we were to add a bit of spice to this, would you be up for it? Well, the spice could be
a bet.
Yeah, not money bet because that's crass. Because that's crass, but it could be a dinner.
No, mate, you owe me dinner.
You owe me dinner.
No, you owe me dinner because I think I can't remember.
I beat you last year.
Someone reminded me about something. I can't remember what it was.
It?
I don't know, but
you need
Haaland
to remind me if I
must
owe
be
you
about
dinner.
Haaland or something. But you certainly owe me dinner. But no,
I was going to suggest a dinner here because I think Chelsea definitely finished above Newcastle.
No way, dude.
Okay, well let's have. Where are we going for dinner?
Posh. You know all the posh restaurants.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
This is big.
This is.
I want
big.
dinner in Paris.
I'm not taking you to Paris, mate. I'm married. Where should we? Gymkhana.
Okay.
Gymkhana in Mayfair for dinner.
Yeah.
If wherever Chelsea and Newcastle finish,
Book
don't forget, mate. I'm having champagne.
Book it now.
I'm having champagne. So I've got Newcastle 7th, 6th, Aston Villa.
6 Aston Villa.
I felt like they could have made it into
so
the
I've got
European
Chelsea 8th, Brighton 7th, 6th Aston Villa.
I've got Aston Villa 6th.
Which
Do you know
is
what?
Incredible.
A month ago, before Chelsea had done their business and before Pochettino got to work on this squad, I said Villa will make it into the European Cup. I think Chelsea's resurgence. Yeah. Chelsea looking so good and winning the Premier League series in the States.
Yeah, got you excited, didn't you? Yeah, Mudryk and that little link up with Jackson.
Here we go. What a goal, mate. Against Wrexham. What?
God.
The might of Wrexham.
The might of Wrexham.
So yes, I've got Villa 6. I think they're going to have a great season with Unai Emery and I think they will win the European trophy. They'll win that conference. Mate, you'll win that. We'll have a cigar and touchline and win that.
Maybe you're right. I mean, West Ham won it.
Yeah.
So West Ham won
Villa
it.
Are better than it.
Yeah, and they've got a better manager.
So Chelsea 5th, and I'm dreaming the coefficient means Chelsea qualify for the Champions League via 5th spot.
This is when both of us need to take our club's hats off.
No,
Chelsea are not finishing 5th.
We are.
You're not, dude.
We will.
Do you have no midfield?
We're so good.
Okay.
Have you seen us? Have you seen the Pochettino?
Are you being serious right now?
No, I am.
You think you're finished 5th?
Have you seen the Pochettino 4-2-3-1? Have you seen what he has done? Have you seen the energy that we play with? Have you seen the desire that we play with?
You've even got no squad depth.
Have you seen
let all your players go? What a weird club you are right now.
Mate, we're amazing. We've let 12 players go, but we've still got too many, genuinely.
Yeah,
we've got a bloated squad and we've let 12 players go.
It's incredible.
No, mate, we are so up for it. We're so hungry.
Is Reece James fit? Is he injured again? Is he fit or
James,
injured?
James will be fine, I think, to start. Yeah, but
trust Mudryk. Fernandes, under
it's
million
hard,
worth
it's hard
it.
at the moment. It's hard at the
Conor
moment.
Gallagher running around.
Look at the energy that this team are playing with. If you look at the desire that they're showing, like Chelsea are playing
pre-season.
Yeah, but pre-season can be important. We've put some good results together. Nicholas Jackson just looks like a total breath of fresh air. Like Ian Maatson, who I think was possibly going to go out on loan to Burnley.
Who?
Mate, Championship Team of the Year, mate. Championship Team of the Year.
This is what it's got to now. And he was laughing about the Everton player, talking about Dwight McNeil. It's got to Ian Maatson. Everyone do your Googles. No one knows who he is.
Mate, watch when Ian Maatson has a season of his life. I'm coming back to this clip. Okay. He's going to excel. Like, you know, at one point it was Lewis Hall for Chelsea coming through. I think prior to pre-season, Lewis Hall was probably ahead in the pecking order to Maatson. Yeah. Maatson's undroppable. He's played all different positions for Pochettino.
Mate, Jesus Christ, you are scratching the surface.
No, he's a wicked player, mate. Maatson, Nkunku, Jackson. Oh, God. Champions League, silverware. Done.
None of that three would start for any of the top six up front. Like, you'd have Callum Wilson, Isak, you'd certainly have what Liverpool have got, you certainly have what Arsenal have got, you take United's maybe.
Up until this season where they make their mark on the season. They make their mark on the Premier League. Chelsea 5th, Manchester United.
I've got United 4th.
It is what it is, isn't it?
I've got United 4th.
They're very good.
I was
they're nowhere near good enough.
I was going to have them 3rd, but I've got them 4th, yeah.
Really good, nowhere near good enough.
Yeah.
They're better than they were last year.
But good, solid.
Better than they were last year?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Better keeper, better midfielder, 100%. Better striker. And I've never really seen Hoyland play.
But he's better than Wouty Weghorst.
Yeah, pace and movement.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, can they do anything more than this, Manchester United, in the season? Like, so we've got them as 4th, which I think if you're a Manchester United fan watching this, you're going to be fairly disappointed by.
No, I think United fans would... Maybe. It was touch and go for me with 3rd. That's because I'm not sure about what the 3rd place team are going to do and what they're going to bring to the season. But I've got them 4th, and I think nowadays this race for top 4 is incredible. There's about 8 teams. So to be 4th in that, it's crazy how much he's spent since he's been there, and we're only saying 4th. But I think 4th until they can get Harry Kane up front.
If that happens, by the way, they challenge.
Then we challenge.
They challenge.
Completely changes.
Who have you got 3rd?
Liverpool.
So have I.
Yeah.
So have I. I'm surprised because you're a very biased tribal man.
I've got to be honest. I was gonna have him 4th. This is the first time I'm going into a season in the last 5 years with no expectations.
I can't understand how Liverpool have got it so wrong.
Yeah, badly wrong.
Painfully wrong. I can't understand it.
Painfully wrong.
Like, you know the midfield demolition that's taken place. If any one of those players had left, you'd go fine. But for them all to leave, it's so short-sighted.
There's the ones we wanted to leave anyway. I wanted Cater out, I wanted Ox out, and I wanted Milner out. I know I didn't want Henderson and Fabinho. I'd never ever have said, even regardless of whether or not their playing time was going to be reduced this season, I never wanted them to go.
Do you know what makes it all right, those two leaving though? Not all right in terms of the team, as long as I'm talking about replacing. Yeah. But you made so much money on those two players, considering the age of those two players.
Yeah.
Like, you've made well over 50 million quid, haven't you?
Yeah, around that.
Well
over.
Yeah, 40 for Fabinho, right?
Yeah, and 15, I'm guessing, for Hendo. So 55 million.
For two players that you've definitely had the best out of, you know?
Yeah.
But what you have to do then is take that 55 and put it to Caicedo.
No, yeah, that's what's upsetting me about all this Lavia chase, is that they will talk about Liverpool getting one more midfielder anyway. That one more midfielder was going to cost 50, 60 million. We've now made 55. There should be a kitty of 100 million to go bang.
And do you know what you do with that? If
there was talks about another team coming in for Caicedo, wasn't there, recently?
Yeah.
Another Premier League team had bidded for him quietly. And I actually thought, surely that's Liverpool. I was thinking, surely that's Liverpool.
Yeah.
Who else could it be? What other team could it be?
It could be nobody in brinksmanship.
Yeah.
It could be, the dance. It could be nobody. It could be that, Because if it were Liverpool, why isn't it named?
Yeah.
How hasn't it come out?
Yeah.
But if it's genuine, there is an unknown team, it probably is Liverpool. But you know what you said there about the 100? Do you know where this problem traces back to? This isn't a this summer problem. This is last summer problem, Tchouaméni. Yeah. If Liverpool signed Tchouaméni last summer, as everybody thought they had, we're not having this conversation now.
No, of course not.
We're not having this.
No.
Because you've had Tchouaméni there for a year with Henderson and Fabinho. You've bought in Szoboszlai and McAllister, and everyone's...
Yeah, and everyone's fine. And then if Fabinho or Henderson go, it's okay, because Tchouaméni is now integrated into the team. He understands how we want to play football, and he's used to it. Now I look at the team, and all of a sudden, all I see in that midfield is kids. Yeah. The average age of that Liverpool midfield must be about 23 or 22. And that was the engine room.
Mate.
That was it. That was the leadership room. That was the leadership group. And now it's changed. It's all changed.
Mate, do you know, I was looking at Chelsea's senior players. Yeah. Do you know who is one of our out of the players that definitely start, do you know who the senior player is?
Chilwell?
Yeah. Ben Chilwell.
Ben Chilwell.
Like, think about... Like, I see Ben Chilwell as a youngster. I know he's not...
I know
you know what I
mean,
mean?
though. Yeah.
He's new at the club.
Yeah.
He's
it's
young.
almost like me thinking of Trent as a senior player.
That's
and
what
it
it's
might
become at
be,
Chelsea.
obviously, but it's not that, is it?
That is what it's
so I've got
become.
Liverpool being third. It could do something, but I don't have expectations.
So, who have you got second?
Arsenal. Yes. Oh, stop your nonsense. No, stop it.
I honestly haven't.
Stop it. You're being. I know you. Look at you.
I don't think they'll win it.
You don't think City will win it?
Well, nobody's ever won 4 in a row. Yeah, history's taught you that this doesn't happen.
Yeah, but then if anyone can rewrite history, it's them.
That's true, but that's what they would be doing.
Remember this was an Arsenal team that started the season without Gabriel Jesus.
Yes, but I think that they can. I rate that Trossard really highly. You know,
I like Trossard. Decent.
Arsenal win the league.
No, they don't.
They do.
They don't. You know what? You know what they don't.
Go on.
Me and you've had this conversation. It's turned into arguments before. This Man City team win 14 in a row. You've got to win 14 in a row.
Not anymore.
Why not?
This Man City team won't do that.
I hope not, because I hope that the hunger's gone. I hope the hunger's gone.
Dwight York effect. Have you read that? Have you seen that? No. Dwight York effect. It's when Dwight York, who sounds like a remarkable character, right? I'm just sort of reading about him at the moment. When they won the treble, this is genuine. He went into Sir Alex Ferguson's office just as the new season training was starting, knocked on the door, and this is like a proper conversation. Asked to sit down, need to see the manager. And Sir Alex Ferguson said, of course, we can talk about anything. He said, okay, boss, we've won the treble last year. I was a huge part of that. What I would really like is full pay and a year off, because my motivation is gone.
Interesting.
And I have succeeded to such a level that I now need some time off. And I don't see how I can improve. I don't see how we can get anywhere. So I need full pay and a year off. Obviously, Sir Alex Ferguson was like, shut up, get out there, win the league again. But think about what that tells us about the mentality.
What did they do?
They didn't. They won the league again. Yeah. But they won the league again, but not anything like the way they did.
They won the league again.
Yes.
I saw Pep after that game against Arsenal, and he was angry. He had that kind of weird, that kind of Italian, Spanish mafia look about him, where it looks like he's going to kill someone. They're ready to go again. They'll be ready to go again. I think they've made a mistake in letting Mahrez go. I know he didn't get much playing time last season, but I think their squad depth off the bench isn't the greatest.
Man City are worse. Yeah. Listen to my logic. Man City are worse. Arsenal are better. It's never been done. Dwight York effect. 4-pronged attack.
Mate, look, Timber's back, Saliba's back. Timber's there, Saliba's a new signing. Declan Rice and your favourite player, Havertz. They've got a good enough squad.
Partey's still there as well, man.
And Partey's still there. Partey's still there.
Good player. Rice, Partey, Odegaard, one of the best midfielders in the league.
God, that's horrible.
One of the best midfielders in the league.
How perfect is that? When I talk about Liverpool's midfield and your midfield, how shoddy that is. Yeah. And then you mention that.
Well, all of those become the best player in both of them.
They all start for Liverpool. That three all start for Liverpool. That three start for Chelsea.
Yeah, I think Enzo
Fernandez it's only the Man United midfield where, obviously, in Cities. Yeah. Do
you see why I think... I think Arsenal win the league, mate. I just don't really see why. And when I say it, I've said it to a few mates. They're seen as being quite controversial and almost ridiculous.
What about the pressure? They had no pressure last season. They had no pressure. No one started. No, it didn't start, did it?
And when the pressure did come, they capitulated.
Yeah.
There is an issue with that for Arsenal, and that could be a reason why they don't win.
There all the time.
But what I don't think will happen this year is I don't think you will need. So what was it last year? 89, so 90, right? Yeah. I just don't think it will be that again. I think it could be 85.
If it's 85, then 4 teams are in it.
Yeah. And Manchester City, I think, will probably win the European Cup at Wembley.
They're not going back to back.
I feel like they're more likely to go back to back on that than win. It's easier, not easier.
No, I know what you mean. No, it is easier. It's easier to win the European Cup than it is to win the league.
Than it is to win their 4th Premier League in a row. Can you see why I think it's Arsenal rather than...
No, I mean, Arsenal's not wild. I've got them as second. Okay. It's not wild.
No, but I think most people, even if you've got them second, most people are like, well, City obviously win the league.
Yeah. No, City have got weaker.
City have got weaker and Arsenal got better.
Yeah, City have got weaker. I know they've added Vardiol, or they're going to add Vardiol, but they've got weaker. But it's still City.
I just think they win it. I really do. I desperately want these words to be wrong. Desperately. I just think Arteta is getting it right. I think there's something psychological about them winning the Charity Shield. Like, genuinely...
We did that to them. When we did it to them,
but it's different.
when we did it to them, I thought that was it. I thought marker down. Darwin Núñez had come, he scored that goal, and Haaland had missed.
It didn't mean as much for Liverpool though. You know, the last time City beat, the last time Arsenal beat City in the league.
Yeah,
Arteta was playing.
Crazy, and it's a long time ago.
Yeah, like they've lost 8 in a row in the Premier League. They needed to get that.
It's when it's as good as they are, Arsenal. I know they've added reinforcements. But when they just City spanked them in the league.
I know, every time.
Spanked them. Yeah. Was it 4-1, 3-1?
4-1, 3-1, 1-0 in the cup.
Rolled over them.
4-1, 3-1, 1-0.
It wasn't even a game. Wasn't a game.
He'll have to sort that out. But that's why I think the Charity Shield is symbolic. That's why.
So we've both got the same top 4 then.
We've got the same top 4 in a different order. You've got an incorrect top 5. I've got a correct top 5.
No, of course, yeah.
And that concludes our predictions.
Same top 4, same bottom 3. The rest.
So there's a huge dinner at stake here.
Yeah.
Chelsea versus Newcastle, effectively. So when Liverpool aren't playing, you need Newcastle to win games. Otherwise, it's costing you 500 quid in Gymkhana.
Is that what it is?
Well, I'm going to be drinking a lot of champagne.
I can afford it.
I'll be on the Runa.
I'm rich now. Got 50,000 subs coming in.
Mate, thank you so much for that, Addy.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed it. Thank you to everybody for watching that video. Really hope you've enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and we will see you all on the next video.